Hey, everybody. Good evening. Happy Saturday. I am just getting in here to the office today. I didn't come into the office all day, and normally I don't work on Saturdays. Sometimes I have things I have to do, and yesterday I spent the majority of my day organizing. It is the 8th month of the year, and y'all know how I am about staying organized. If you're new to the channel, then welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, then glad to see you back. Aren't these cute? These are old school note cards that I found at over at Walmart today. I went to go get an oil change on my car and went to Walmart because I figured I could get in there and get some shopping done. First time I went really shopping, well, second time I've gone shopping at Walmart since COVID. The other day I went to get some composition books and things like that, and then today I just went in to get a few things. But my old school Rolodex, y'all, and I got the divider to it, and I don't know where that is, but I know y'all like, oh, that is so old. I know a lot of times people do not keep information on Rolodexes, but I'm a firm believer that when you have that information sitting in your face, it just triggers your memory. And I love to write down things, and so I'm always jotting down notes. I bought a divider, so I'll divide this stuff up, have some dividers in here, but I just thought these were really cute. Reminds me of my dad. He always told me to make sure that I kept all of my customers' information and things like that. And so with these, I can, if there's something that I need to remember about a client, I can just quickly jot me a note, put their name on here, and kind of organize that, and then I have all of that information right here on the desk. Today's video is not really about much of anything. I just want to kind of talk to y'all about some things about life in general and business in general. So I titled this video Walk a Mile in My Shoes, right? Titled it Walk a Mile in My Shoes because a lot of times, y'all, people think they can do just that. They think that they can walk a mile in your shoes, or they know your situation, right? So I want to talk to you guys about this YouTube journey and about being in business. And for those of y'all that know who I am, you know that my journey didn't start on YouTube. My journey started with me opening a business and then getting on YouTube 10 or more years later, right? And I decided to get on YouTube mainly to sell my t-shirt calculators. So I came to the YouTube space specifically to build a following to sell those t-shirt calculators at the time when the t-shirt calculators were unknown. And so that's how I ended up getting on YouTube. And then throughout the years, just kind of doing Corel Draw and doing other stuff as a give back to the community. And it was probably, maybe about 5 years ago that my son told me, Mom, you should be monetized. And so then that's when I monetized on YouTube and started making a little money off of that. But my main thing was the t-shirt calculators and Corel Draw videos. I showed very little screen printing online because I actually teach screen printing classes. So it's kind of like cutting your nose off to spite your face, right? If you're teaching, I'm sorry, y'all, if you're teaching screen printing and you are, doing screen printing classes. So at that time, I really wasn't doing, a lot. But I know that, like a lot of times on this journey, everybody has an opinion. right? So we finna get into some stuff, right? Because I got a bone to pick. So we're gonna get into some stuff, and I'm gonna give y'all my point of view. That's what I want to say. No one can walk in your shoes, and your journey is your journey, right? Your story is your story. And until a person has actually gone through the things that you've gone through and has walked in your shoes, you cannot really, trying to find the right words for this, y'all. You cannot really judge the next person, right? Because you don't know what a person's situation is or what a person wants are. Like, there was a time in business when all I was on was 10. Go, 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 go. Get money, get money, get money, get money, make money, flip money, flip money. That was it for me, right? And so now I'm at a point in my life when y'all see me and I'm like, honey, I don't want to shop anymore. I want to work from home, and this is what I want to do, and that's where I find my happiness, right? So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that probably says, oh, this or oh, that, she should this or she should that, or she ain't this or she ain't that, right? Sometimes I sit up and I laugh. Like, a lot of times I see a lot of stuff going on. I see a lot of things on YouTube. I hear a lot of things because I keep my ears to the street. But here's the thing. And sometimes I see people make mistakes, right? As a business owner and as a consultant, I never want to see any other people who follow me make mistakes. But here's the deal. Sometimes your mistakes are yours for you to make. And if a person does not reach out to me and say, hey, LaTonna, so-and-so, I need help with this or I need help with that, and I see you make a mistake on YouTube or in your business or whatever, right? It's not for me to reach out to you because some mistakes you need to make in order for you to learn how to do things. And some people want to make their mistakes. Some people don't want someone holding their hands all along the way of them going through whatever journey it is that they're going through, right? And my way of doing things may not be for you, right? And so a lot of times people will do things and then say, oh, well, I should have reached out, or I should have did this, or I should have did that, right? Your mistakes are sometimes your mistakes to make, right? Because we all make a decision whenever we're figuring out, like, what is it that I want to do with business? You have to figure out, like, hey, do I want to be on YouTube to sell products? Do I want to be on YouTube just because that's my give back? I like to talk. Sometimes I get here, I jump on YouTube just to talk to y'all, right? It ain't about like making a sale. It's not about anything other than just to get on, to vent, to talk. Sometimes it's to try to give back information that I know that you guys could need, right? I don't have to get on YouTube at all, ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you have to look at it and say, well, for me, let me back up. Sometimes we get on YouTube and it takes a lot. It takes a whole lot for a person to sit in front of a camera and to share their life's experiences with people that are complete fucking strangers, right? And when you do that, right, you get on and you share your life with people who are complete strangers and give your take on things and how things are going with you. And we do that because most of the time people want to help folks. It's just pure and simple. It's just that, like, hey, if you can learn something from my journey, then great. If you don't want the information, then turn off the, keep strolling, you know. And that's how I look at it. And here lately, y'all, I haven't been on a lot because I got a lot going on. As you see in my background, things are changing. I got stuff going on that's going on because I'm actually active in my business. So I'm always trying to figure out what's the next step in business, how to elevate, and not only how to elevate me, but I got a lot going on, like running the shop from day to day, dealing with Lily, my granddaughter, dealing with because Lily's, even when Lily's not here, y'all, Lily is calling me all day long, and a lot of stuff is going on. And I'm not just dealing with the t-shirt shop, right, side of business. I have to deal with the ABBA side of business. I have to help Ken with the dog side of business. So here I am, and I'm running 3-4 businesses, and not only that, I'm running 5 websites. And so sometimes, you know, there's really nothing for me to get on and talk to you guys about. And really and truly and honestly, the last probably year, I've been kind of pulling back a little bit myself, because it's like, why even get on YouTube sometimes when there are a very few people that are on YouTube that are really listening and really want to learn something, right? And sometimes, y'all, you know, so I just save it for the classroom, honestly. And I sit back and I look at a lot of stuff, because I've been doing this for 25 years, almost 25 years now. Come January, I'm going to hit my 25th anniversary of being in the business. And I look at stuff, and I can tell y'all this. Sometimes you have people that get on here and they fake it to make it, okay? And the truth of the matter is that you cannot really speak on anybody's business unless you have walked that mile in their shoes. And that's just the truth of the matter. If you have not gotten in a print shop, and you've been when it comes to screen printing, right, and it comes to like a business like mine, if you have not gotten out there, walked the walk and talked the talk, if you have not put in the work, if you have not, let's say if you're doing sublimation and you're trying to tell somebody how to do sublimation, but you have not perfected it yourself, you should not be speaking on it. If you haven't done all over t-shirts, and then you should not be speaking on the technique that somebody does, right? On something, on the technique that somebody does, you should not be speaking on it, period, right? And even with screen printing, there are so many things. Like, screen printing is very technical, and so it's a lot of things that when it comes to screen printing that y'all hear out here of why, for example, when we're talking about mesh counts, right, in screen printing mesh, and you'll hear some people say, you need to print on all 156s or 205s or 305s or this, that, or the other, right? You first need to know why you would want to print on a certain mesh. Sometimes people go up in their mesh count because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, okay? And that's just the truth of the matter. They're laying too much ink, and they're laying too much ink on shirts because their print technique is wrong. Sometimes people use the wrong mesh count for other reasons, right? So it's a lot of stuff that goes into things, and you really have to start putting in the work in order for you to understand why. And you have to, it's like, I went to a class one time, and there was nothing but all of these bosses in the class, right? And when the instructor was talking and teaching, these bosses who big bosses, right? So these bosses, they did not, when it came time to actual printing, hands-on printing, they didn't know what to do, right? And the reason that they didn't know what to do is because they had never walked a mile in that printer's shoes. They had never been on their presses. They had been in the office. So sometimes we people like me, I love email marketing, right? Email marketing is not for everyone. Email marketing is not for everyone, right? Some people prefer not to get into email marketing in the beginning of their journey. Why? Because maybe they don't have an email list. Maybe they don't know how to get an email list. They don't know how to build an email list. Maybe they don't know how to do email sequences, things like that. So as we all follow our journey, we all learn different things, right? Let me look at some of the comments because I see y'all out there. Hey, y'all. Let me see. I see y'all up in the comments tonight. Hey, Cynthia. Hey, Tampa. Hey, Baby Giant. How are you? Hello, Journey. Hey, Keisha. How are you? Journey says, I understand. I want to get my candle business, but I don't know how to get my LLC. What state are you in? PA. Journey, what you do is get on Google. Get on Google and Google it. There is, I don't know what the website is, but there is a website that will help walk you through that. You can, there's a website, and I can't remember the name of the website, y'all, but you can actually go in and file your papers for free. Now, they will walk you through the steps. I'm not going to say file your papers for free because you still got to pay. You know, you got to pay that to the state. But as far as doing the paperwork, they will help you go in and do your paperwork. But honestly, if you're just getting started out doing candles, there's not a big liability in candle making. If you're making candles at home, and until you hit a certain income level with making your candles, you actually don't need a LLC to get started. The thing is, for you to get started, you can actually go start out as a sole proprietor, if you want to go that way, and just do a DBA. Which is a doing business as name, and just get started like that, get your bank account and all of that stuff going, and then after a certain period of time, then you could go ahead and get your LLC. And the reason that I tell people that is because a lot of times people get hung up on this LLC stuff, and the LLC will help you from getting double taxed, right? But in the beginning of you starting out your business, most people are not, let's say, if you're not doing $100,000 in candles or something like that, then a DBA will work fine. And it's all about tax liability and personal liability. Like if you've got your LLC, then it'll protect you from being sued as an individual. And so that helps. And most of the time in these like crafting businesses and stuff like that, you really don't have that issue to be worried about. So, that's just my take on it. Hey, Alex, where you been? How are you? Just on here tonight talking noise. Oh, Cynthia told you to Google it. Okay. And then also you could reach out. There are different I don't know like what's going on like in your state where you are, but I know that here we have different organizations through like the Chamber of Commerce, different programs that will help you. If people who are trying to get in business, it will help, that will help you go in and file your paperwork, teach you how to run a business, teach you how to just do basic things in business, how to handle your finances and stuff like that. And now y'all, they have all kind of groups that do that too. I've just joined a women's group not too long ago that helps people in business, whether it's with their marketing, with advertising, their social media, all kinds of stuff. And my purpose of joining the business is because I know that these group of ladies have a little change, and I can get up in there and, you know, get those print services going on. I don't know if you guys remember, but the other day I posted over in the Slack channel. For the people who are on the Slack channel, I posted over in the Slack channel these. I got these from, well, I originally got them from Walmart. The first couple of ones I got was from Walmart, which was these. And these are a little bit, the ones from Walmart are a little bit taller, and I actually like these better. But I got these for $1 a piece, and then I could not find them in black because I wanted them in black, because whenever I do events and things like that, I just want to use black, right? I just want to be like in a neutral color, so black is perfect for me. But I got these for cap bars and bag bars for when I'm doing caps and bags, and that was the original purpose that I got it. So you guys may, if you're doing like events or things like that, these are great. The other thing about these is, so if you see behind me, I'm changing up that wall back there because I gotta get back to doing video calls and virtual brand consultations on the daily, right? And I've been just out of my element because I don't have things readily available when I'm talking to clients. So I need to be able to reach and grab a shirt and show things and present, because I don't really present to people in person since COVID. So now when, let's say like how people normally walk into stores, with me, my customers are on camera and I'm talking to them that way. So I had to take down my big job board, thus meaning that this is the perfect alternative for me to put my, so what I do now is whenever I get an order, I print out the invoice, and I print out 2 of them, and then I also do the design or the job proof and put it on the back. I'm still looking for something to hang these in. The good thing about these, y'all, is that you can write directly on here, and that's what I got it for. So you can just take a dry erase marker on here. I can write on here, let's say for example, hold for payment. I can write on here and then erase that off, and then I can write on here shirts ordered, erase that off. If I need to do films, I can write that on there. So these are just really good things, kind of like all around the board to do. And once I figure out how I'm gonna hang these up on the wall, or where I'm gonna hang, how I'm gonna hang them. If I had my grid wall, I could be able to, it'd be easy to hang them, but I don't know what I'm gonna do about that yet. But these are perfect. I actually bought 30 of these off of Amazon for, I think I got all 30 of these off of Amazon for what was it? It was 19 bucks. I wish I could find these a little bit larger so I could just throw my films in there when I'm, you know, doing my screen print films, and that would be perfect. But these right here is a perfect solution for me not having my big wall over there. I got a bunch of stuff going on. I spent, that's what I need, Tampa. That's exactly what I need. that is exactly what I need. So you're still printing too, Alex. That's good. Congratulations on starting your new clothing business. I hope that takes off. If it's anything I can do for you, make sure you reach out to me. I'm still over there in the DM. You can still hit me over there. I'm still over there on Messenger. You can hit me. We need to catch up. Tampa, that would be perfect. I do need and probably a little pegboard too. Maybe I could find somewhere, maybe put it over. There's a wall over on that side, so maybe I could put it over on that side of me. Let's see, y'all. I spent the whole day on Friday. Tell you guys about my Friday. I spent yesterday working just on my emails. My emails were a hot mess, and you would just never imagine. What I did is I went in, I created labels for everything in email, from like, so when I have for T-Shirt Shop Dallas, I created a label, and then everything that I do, all the different types of emails for TSD that come in, I did, let's see, and I'm actually over here in it. So I have like a label for appointments when I have people who booked with me. I've got another label for art files, so I can quickly go into the email, find the art files. Quote requests, I've got a label for that. And then I have another label for finances, whether there's like payments that are going in or going out, and everything's color coded. Invoices, I've got labels for when I run ad campaigns, and then I have labels for the Lady Print Boss website, personal stuff, and all of that stuff. And then I went in and created my tasks, my to-do, quotes that I need to reply to, events, just all kinds of stuff. Cleaned up my email nice and clean and tidy so that it's very well organized, because I have quotes coming in from all over the place. We got quotes coming from the Google form. We've got quotes coming from the website, quotes that are coming from Facebook, Instagram, just quotes that are coming from Google. So I've got all of these, and then quotes that are coming from the Alpha Broder site, things like that. So it's just like all of these quotes that are coming in and emails that are just coming in and being dumped, and I needed to have some type of organization in there, and so that's what I did. And my next step is for me to activate my I'm going to create a Zap that's going to automatically not reply to the emails, but it's going to create like a templated reply. And so all I'll have, it'll be a draft reply. And I used to do this before, and then we started taking all the orders on the website. But now that I'm having problems with the website, and I still have not fixed all of that, hey y'all, you know, it's rough out here. I still haven't fixed it all, because I've got orders going in between that and stuff, but I've got the website up and running good enough to do what it needs to do, right? And I've got a master plan for it that's going to get people back ordering online. I tell you, doing orders by hand, like not really by hand, but you know, like when people are able to go and just place the order online, it's so much easier on me versus when I have to talk to so many people and give so many different quotes out. And I only want to talk to people on the phone, and I don't want this to sound like a certain way or anything, right? But I only really want to hold a long phone conversation. And when I say a long phone conversation, I mean like 15 minutes. I only want to talk to you 15 minutes or more if you're spending $1,000 or more. right? I only want to jump on like Zoom calls or Google Meet calls if people are spending, big money and I'm able to get those contracts. And so that's where, as you guys see, that the room is changing because I'm going back to the old stuff that I used to do. The last year and a half since I moved, things have kind of been like all around the place with me, like, well, this is a temporary space, I'm gonna buy a house and this and that, and trying to figure out what you can do in a rental space, which is weird to me because I've always like owned my home. And so with the walls, me wanting to do black walls and trying to figure out all of that, because you're like, okay, well, this ain't my house, so I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. And then I had to sit down and think to myself, girl, you're losing money, right? This is me talking to myself, y'all. When you work by yourself, a lot of times you just talk to yourself a lot. I had to sit up and think and really make it make sense for me, right? That I'm losing money not doing brand consultations. And because once I get a person on the phone, or if I get you really, and if I can talk to you on video, I'm going to sell you. 9 times out of 10, when you hang up that phone or when you get off of that call, you have enough information to make a good decision to figure out, if I'm the printer for you, if I have a product that you want. And I'm going to normally sell you on the phone or on video. And so I had to think and check myself and say, girl, you better get these walls together and put this stuff up and do what you need to do. And hey, when you get ready to move, if you got to pay for that, that's what you got to do, because you're trying to run a business here, right? And so that's what I decided to do, was to focus on what I need to do, which is sell, which has been going really, really nicely for me this year. Last month was a slow month. Last month was a slow month for me. And last month was a slow month for me. And I was kind of disappointed. And had it not been for me getting one big event, I wouldn't have pulled off my quota. And so I had to look and see like what was some of the things that I was doing that I had not been doing. Like, it's sometimes you got to go back and you got to look and you got to say, this ain't working. Or like I started noticing, okay, I'm going back and forth. I'm doing too many emails with people, right? I need to make sure that I go back to my email sequences and that I'm staying on point with everything I do, and figure out where is the best place in my business for me to put my energy, right? Because sometimes you can focus on the small things and the big money passes you by. My dad used to tell me all the time. I remember he used to have customers and I was saying, and he would tell them no. Right? I don't do that anymore. Or that I don't offer that anymore. And I would be like, Daddy, why don't you do, you got this or you got that? And he says, tedious. That's was his word for everything. He says tedious. I'm getting too old and I don't have time for that. Like, I can make $1 off of this when I can make 50 times the profit on this. It was one thing that my father always taught me, y'all, and that I will never forget, is he always taught me buy low, sell high. And that kind of came from his parents. And so, and my great aunt, she always said, hey, buy low and sell high. So I always look at things now whenever I'm thinking about products or services that I'm selling. I look at what's the profit margin, right? Because now, you look at a t-shirt and you say, okay, well, the profit margin on this is small here. You know, what can I do? What kind of experience can I give that's going to stretch that out and make me get a little bit more for that? So for me, doing the video calls and things like that, people really do like that. And they're willing to pay a little bit more for it because they're getting that personalization thing, that one-on-one with you where you're sitting down and you're talking to them. And I'm finding that people love it. And we did this after COVID. I don't know why I stopped, right, doing it. Like I said, I moved here into this house and then it was like, okay, let me just kind of get in here, and just jumped in and started working and doing stuff so fast that I didn't really get a chance to do everything that I wanted to do, right? I'm building a print. Let me jump up first. I jumped over. Let's see here. Imperial Custom Printing TV. Yeah, I've been realized that I need to start doing that as well. Still designing a little PowerPoint for that. I'm not sure what you're talking about now. Tell me what part we're talking about right there. Building a print office video studio. Seems like everyone is doing black chalk paint, plus I do the pirate thing. Any ideas? Well, for me, so in my last place, I had the chalk paint, right? Because it's matte. So the matte black, it will not reflect light as much. And then for, you know, see with those t-shirts, black is the perfect color. With the wall being white, or this wall in here is like cream, and I'm still working on the lighting in here, but colors pop off the wall. So for me, when I did not have this set up like this, when I had it set up, I was making a lot of money. I was just making a lot of money scheduling a lot of brand consults, things like that. But black is the way to go. Now this, what I have up here, this is actually contact paper, Alex, contact paper. Because I'm in a rental right now. So I couldn't paint the walls here, okay? Don't be mad at me. I couldn't paint the walls. So I actually jumped on Amazon and I bought the cheapest contact paper that I could find, because, and I wanted to do wallpaper, but wallpaper you have to wet, and then wallpaper will actually sometimes peel the paint off. So I got on there and I looked at some videos and stuff, and I found this contact paper, which is not very sticky or anything. It's the cheap. When I say it's cheap, I mean it's cheap. Like I paid like 19 bucks a roll. It cost me 2 rolls to do one wall, and that wall is only like 11 feet long, or 10 and a half or something. But it's not really sticky, and it's really thin. And I put it up there, so my intentions was to just tack it up there at the top with thumbtacks and then roll it straight. But the stuff had it had like bends in it, and so it didn't look good. So I just ended up taking it off and making up my mind, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. But this one is not really it's more of like it has like a little sheen. It's not a matte black, but that's why they do that, because the light doesn't bounce all around. So when you start putting up when you do your lighting, you won't have like light bouncing all around, and it looks good, especially if you're doing like, if you do like a showroom and then you put like your lights hitting back onto the you know, like those showroom lights. And they have showroom lights really cheap now that you can order online, like 30-40 bucks, and you have 3 lights in a row, and you can even get the ones that you just plug in, and then those spotlights will shine down. That's what I had in my showroom. And any type of lighting that's, you know, like beaming towards a certain thing, it will make people really look up, and you know, it really works good. But I like it. So far, I'm still waiting on some other stuff to come because for those of you guys that don't know, my van had blew up back in the winter time, and so I had a lot of stuff, a lot of equipment, and a lot of my showroom stuff was in the van, and so it burnt to a crisp. So I had to get more stuff, and I'm glad that I'm setting this up also, y'all, because as you're like creating stuff, right, and you do shirts, if you don't have a specific place for your shirts to go, like your samples, then what happens is you end up wearing them, or you put them in a box somewhere, and then if a customer calls, you don't, and you're talking to someone, you don't really have anything to show them. Like I'll say, oh, I have that with a puff print, or I have something with a I'll keep, you know, like certain things, like I'll keep not too much of like black prints with like black ink, because that's just plain. But let's say if I'm doing a ghost ink, I'll keep that print. I'll keep something like a metallic print. I'll keep, anytime that I do the tie-dyeing, I'll keep that. And then of course my a couple of Bella Canvas shirts. I don't really sell a lot of Bella Canvas. I push Next Level more. That's my thing. But then you have your dry fits, and you have your caps. I'm pushing a lot of caps now. I'll probably put in, and then just little things, you know. So I think it's going to be really nice once I get it all set up. It's going to look amazing. This room is nowhere near as big as the other room that I have, but you know, hey, you have them in a box. Yeah, I mean, you know, well, when you were saying boxes, I was thinking like a sample box. But yeah, you know, it's, if you're not, it just depends on what you're doing, right? So let's say, for example, if I'm going out, when I go out, and because I used to go out to, like, if it's a big company, right, I'll still go out. If they give me a call and they say, hey, we want to see something in person, I go out, and I actually have like these little containers, little you know, the things that you put like your travel, like that you travel with, the little travel bags that you have your socks rolled up in, and I'll roll up some shirts, and I may have like 4 or 5 shirts in this style, and then I'll have like different prints, and I'll just take out whatever it is that I've kind of talked to them on the phone about. But I only do that if I know that it's going to be beneficial, and it's pretty much going to be a big order. I already got it pretty much sealed in the bag. Then I'll do that. If I know the deal is gonna go through. You know, I'll go out and I'll do it like that, and that works. But so hopefully this will keep me putting, you know, designs up and starting to pull stuff back out. I've got so many shirts that we've done through the years that I don't even have anymore. Just from, you know, being here. And then I've got tons of body forms that I had to take and put up, because, you know, it's like you can't just put everything up. But I do want to have it to where, you know, hey, when I show people stuff, it's all good, y'all. So I was over at Walmart today, and who knew Walmart has these HTV runt presses off in there, child. So if you're in, you know, a pickle and you need a press that doesn't have good pressure, like if you're just doing, you know, maybe some HTV, some vinyl, or doing sublimation, that's all I really recommend these for. I know, you know, like I've done DTF prints with them, and I've done screen print transfers with them, and other type of transfers, but it does not give you the best pressure. So I always like to say that whenever I talk to people about those presses, because so many people that have got those presses. But yeah, y'all, you know, we all have a different journey to walk, right? And I would love for everybody, I want everybody and their mama to screen print. because that's what has worked for me, right? And I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. I learned from, I'm talking about in the trenches with I remember my first press was a press that I got from, my first screen printing press was a old, nope, it wasn't the Lancer. The Lancer was the one that we got after that, but it was old too. The first press, I can't think, it was a old M&R. I think it was a Sidewinder, an old Sidewinder. And that thing was a tank though. It was a tank though, y'all. But oh, it was just, you know, it just squeaked and squeaked, and it was off register, and it just, we literally would have to hold the screen over to one side. We used to put tape in the registration gate. Like, we would do little balls of tape like this, and we would stick them on the side, and we would do all kinds of stuff just to make that press work, right? And from that, I learned so much. Like, I mean, the off contact would be like at an angle, like up here, and I had to break that press down. That's how I ended up getting so good with, you know, with presses. And I would have to sit there sometimes for hours at a time. I would break stuff down. Luckily, God has put a lot of men in my life that were either mechanics, or they were just really good with tools. A lot of older guys that would come and would help me and Ken out and show me stuff and teach me how to take care of my equipment and stuff. And so through the time of working on just the worst presses, I got to the point to where I would be the lady that people would call and say, hey, can you come out and fix my press? Is something going on with my press? And I'm like, hey, I can come over there. And so when I tell you guys, I don't talk a lot of shit, right, about the shit that I know, but sometimes, you know, you have to let people know there's not a press out there that I don't know. There's not a press out there that I don't know. I can literally look at a press, right, be it in person, be it on YouTube, whatever. I can look at a press and I can tell you just about anything with that press. I can look at that press and tell you when it was made, if it's an older press, if it's a newer press. I know some presses that have Teflon bolts. I can tell you the different you know, the different types of registration gates on it, whether it has wood pallets, if it has rubber pallets, all the stuff that's going on with that, with those presses. And you learn that from experience, right? And from my experience, I learned a lot about what not to do, like what not to do and how to make things work. And so a lot of times when you get a press, let's say that you get a press and then you have to figure out how to make that press work. And when you learn how to print in the trenches and make it work, then you end up being so amazing at everything. Because what happened from me having not the best presses starting out was that I learned how to make up for it by making in my artwork, by making doing chokes, doing yokes, spreads, making gutters in my artwork. Yeah, you're right, Ivan. It was a chameleon, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. So you have to you know, as you are like, take everything that you learn and all your mistakes and your trials and tribulations, because I'm telling you, those are your mistakes to make, right? But from your mistakes, from making those mistakes, it just makes you a better business person in the end. Because right today, my nephew can walk in and say, Amy, I don't know such and such and such. I can literally look at prints, y'all. I've pulled up at a company. I went to go train a company. And I told Ken to go in. And so a lot of times when I'm going and I'm like going out to train a company, I want to see what those people in there are doing. Like, what are they doing without me watching, right? I don't really, because when you walk in, people don't want you to know that they don't know certain things. And it's kind of like, why did you hire me, right? To come in. If you pay me to come in, and I ain't cheap, right? So if you pay me $2,500 to come to your shop and to work with you for those few days and to help you figure out what's going on wrong in your process, you should just be open, right? And that's the one thing that I think that a lot of people in this industry don't do, is they try to fake it and act like they know more than what they know. So anyways, I walked into this place. Before I even walked in, they had a rack outside and it had shirts on it, just like this one, that were for sale. And I walked up to the rack and I looked at it, and I immediately could see that the left side of the print didn't have much ink. The right side of the print had a lot of ink. I immediately knew that the press was not level. I immediately knew either the press is not level or the arm is not level. Something's going on. So when I walked in, I told the guy the press isn't level. And I guess, me being a woman, maybe even me being a black woman, maybe me being a younger woman than what he was. Who knows? The guy immediately said, hey, I've had 3 different companies come in here and I've leveled this press and this, that, and other. And I told him, I said, look, dude, your press is about 2/8 off. Well, he went and made a phone call and got a level and came back and put that level on there. And I just sat there. And his press was 2/8 of an inch off, and it was going the way that I told him it was going. And then we went into his burn room, and I told him some things that he was doing wrong in the burn room, and he was fighting me at every tooth and nail. And at that point, I said, you know what? And I drove all the way from Dallas to go train this guy. And I looked at Ken and I told Ken, I said, you know what, let's go. And I told the guy, I said, hey, I came here to help you. If you are not going to respect my expertise and my skill, then I can't help you. You called me and said that your business is about to go under, right? Under. Literally, if you don't come help me, I'm about to go under. So I told him, you have a choice to make, right? Either you can suck it up and let me do what I do, which is the technical training that I come to do, and I'm going to solve your problems, right? I'm going to solve your print problems. I've never gone anywhere that I have not solved that person's print problems. And his mama was there. And she told him, as I was walking out the door, she told him, she said, you better let that lady help you. And he said, well, I tell you what, let's give it a try. In 2 days, we solved those problems. Everything that they did wrong, we went through that shop and made sure that things talk to the employees. So it's a lot of things that I do, guys, that you guys don't really, that I don't really share, or that you guys don't see, right? And so a lot of times you see me here on YouTube and, hey, I'm just LaTonna, I got the bonnet on my head and I'm not dressed or whatever. And so sometimes people forget, right, that I've seen it all and I've done it all. And that's no bragging or anything like that, but that's to say that when you learn and you perfect your skills, right, then nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take that from you. And so I tell people, your journey is for you, and I'm here to help those who want help along the way. And quite frankly and honestly, I'm 54 years old now. I'm going to be 55 this year. And I guess the older you get to the point to where it's like, if you don't want help, I don't give a damn, right? Because I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep making my money. If you're going to struggle, and then that's you. And, sometimes you have to realize that, you can't help everybody, right? Sometimes people have to fall to be able to get back up and do better in life. And that's just the truth of the matter. I always want to help everybody. I'm like, okay, I don't want you to make any mistakes. But sometimes you have to make mistakes, because those mistakes are going to make you greater. Might have to ask you about your press. Call Ryan and off contact still isn't making sense. Keisha, honestly, I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say this to you out of love. You should have picked up that phone and called me before you bought that press. I don't know who you talked to before you purchased that press, but you should have called me so that I could have told you what to look for when buying a press, right? Y'all, whenever you buy a press, right, you, regardless of as to whether you go pick up that press or whether they bring that press to you, all presses look good. You get a press and everybody is happy, right? But sometimes the shiniest, greenest, that beautiful, beautiful green shiny color, that beautiful, beautiful red shiny color, that beautiful, beautiful yellow shiny color, it doesn't matter. Like, that press can look like it is super, super strong. If that off contact is, if the registration on it is off, it's not worth buying. And it's as simple as you checking it there, right? Keisha, it's not that when I looked at that press, I said she got a press. And I knew immediately when I looked at your video that your press was off. I knew immediately that it was off. And it's going to take some work. I don't know, like maybe you could do like a video call or whatever, but you should have called me beforehand. But that was your mistake to make, right? And sometimes you got to make mistakes. What's going to happen with you with this press is that you may never get it to be 100%, okay? And this is the truth. How did I know? Because I looked at you spinning it around, and when you spent it around and you said that they were off, normally when you have a press that's off, right, you may have, so let's say if you have a press that has a problem with the registration, right? Let's say your registration gate is here and you've got, and it locks, right? And it locked. I could tell that this press was like this, or was it, yeah. So your back is low and your top is higher. I could see it. Or it may have been the other way around. I can't really remember. But as soon as I looked at it and I saw you turn it to the other side, not to the other side, but to the press, to the screen that was next to it, and I saw that that one was off. Normally if you're off, you're going to be off on that axis. So let's say that the press is like this, right? This side's going to be off, this side's going to be off. If you got a press and it's 6 pieces and you go boom, 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 all of those are doing the same thing, I know that that whole press is off. I don't know if it's in the bearings right up in there, but I can tell you this. You can get the press to work, right? You can get the press to work. Your press, I didn't see a Z on it, so I believe you have a XY registration on it. So the knob on the side, it'll go from side to side, and then the 2 knobs at the back, it'll go up and back and up and back, right? So what you're gonna have to do, and then you have your off contact, which your pitch, right? So what you're gonna have to do is you're going to have to probably talk to Ken, and you're gonna have to set all of those back, right? You're gonna have to set all of those back registered even. And then after you get them all together, you're gonna have to adjust your pitch. What I would do is, if it were me, right? You didn't ask me, but I'm gonna tell you, if it was me, I would go get a piece of cardboard, and I would put a piece of cardboard there. I would get a screen, and I would drop the back of that head, and then I would level it. So if my screen is sitting here and the press is, I would level it with the screen on it, with the piece of cardboard up under it on the first head, and adjust it, and then see if I could get it that way. You're gonna get it fixed enough to work with it, but honestly, the older Riley Hopkins presses and the older Ryonet presses, right, were not very good presses. And I say that, y'all, out of my experience from me training different people on the presses. Hopefully you don't have those Teflon bolts. You might, because of when the press was made. I know that in the last couple of years, when was it they came out with that 300? That one's a beast. I think with your press, after your press, I think they came out with the joystick registration. They had the XYZ. I don't know. I would have to really be on video to look at it and see how close you can get it. I think that, and here's the thing, regardless of, yeah, see, I know what I'm talking about. If you had called me and told me, hey, LaTonna, I'm gonna buy this press, right? I would have told you, hey, this is what you need to check for, da 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 da. At the end of the day, you still got a good deal, right? You still got to upgrade from what you have. And when I say you have an upgrade from what you have a 6.4 from a 4.1 to a 6.4. You may never be able to get just tight registration, right? And the truth of the matter is, so let's say if you can't get a job done that's got tight registration, it's really okay, because you will have to do as I had to do back in the day. Learn how to adjust for that in your artwork. Most of the time you're creating your own artwork, or customers are providing you your artwork. You're going to have to adjust for that in your artwork, right? With doing yokes and chokes and spreads and gutters. The other thing is, you may be able to find a sweet spot on the press. Like, it may be, okay, let me turn it, and is it off going from left to right, right? You may be able to adjust that. If, let's say, for example, if the pitch is going like this from the back of the press going up, you may have to end up getting a piece of wood and kind of doing a little rigging and rigging that back down, right? But at the end of the day, you got 4 plates. You're going to be able to put your flash on one side, right? And you're going to be able to keep moving. So it's going to speed you up regardless. Now you may have to, unless you're doing like a simulated process print, which you're not really doing those anyways right now, right? You're still going to be able to use the press. You're going to be able to get a lot of work out of the press. So at the end of the day, you know, I've had garbage presses that I've printed for $1 million corporations on, and the print still looks good. You know, it's not always in the press, it's in the skill. So you may have to use skill to bypass a lot of the issues that you have. And then, you know, it's your mistake. You learn from it. And then the next time that you go buy a press, I bet you'll check the registration on it, right? And then you'll look it up. Always, but for those of y'all who are on here, when you're buying a press, what do you want to look for? The first thing you want to look for is you want to look at the micros, right? Does it have micro registrations or not, right? Does it have side arms, right? Some people like the side arms, some people don't. Me, if you can print, you can print. Some of the older presses, the registration systems may be when you go to turning the bolts and stuff, right? If it hasn't been oiled and it hasn't been taken care of, that stuff will be tight and it won't move properly like it's supposed to move. One thing that you can do whenever you are registering, like sometimes you'll register. I know that Ryan had a problem with their presses slipping, with the registration, with the screen slipping, right? And so I don't know if you guys know like how a mechanic does. When the mechanic is tightening up bolts, they go from one side to the other side, from here to here. If you have those side arms, the side clamps, right? So you'll tighten the one in the back, you'll go over here, tighten the one in the front, go over here, tighten the one in the back, tighten this one, and you never tighten completely down. Even if you have the press that clamps in the back, you tighten a little bit and then you tighten a little bit, then you tighten a little bit and you tighten a little bit. You don't tighten it so tight because it'll move, right? It'll shift on you. Some presses will do that. It's all about how you set it up. Sometimes you got to put wood behind stuff. You got to do like different things, right? But you are going to do it. Yeah, they aren't. But the new ones are. They have the newer presses that they're making is a beast. And you got to remember, y'all got to remember, like, screenprinting.com has only been around like literally like what has it been? It's got to be more than 10 years because I started in 2009 and they were not doing training. I didn't hear about them until probably like 2014. So I'm not really sure when they became a thing, but I know that they're old. They're, you know, the company was new and a bunch of stuff, you know, and so wasn't the best presses. Even with one of my Vastex presses, my 4-1 Vastex, it's off. And so I had to go in and change some things, and I think I got it fixed. I don't really remember, but any press, and this goes for like any brand, any press can get off. Some presses have better reviews than others, right? And some presses have gone through things like you have the brown presses. Brown presses used to be, people used to say, oh, those are the worst presses ever, right? And so now they've kind of revamped, just like those red presses, the Anatols, right? People that screen print, wouldn't own an Anatole automatic. You know, it's like if you don't have an M&R or a Workhorse has a good automatic, but the Workhorse is the older Workhorse, is like the one that I have, the Joplin. It has the V squeegees. People would say, "Oh, you can't print with the V squeegee." I perfected the V squeegee so much to where people all around the country was calling me and saying, "How the hell did you get that V squeegee to print that white?" So, you know, if the machine was made to do what it was made to do, and you know, and you put a little skill to it and you finesse it a little bit, you can always, you know, come around it. So Ivan T, will that fix her problem for all the jobs or just for the job she's running? In other words, would she have to do that for each job? She's gonna have to do it for each job, Ivan. If she does not, so if we go in, if she goes in, what I would do is I would take a day and I would start fixing on each head. And so once you're talking about when she puts the cardboard there and she levels it off. If she does that, she should be fine. She should be fine if she doesn't have any play in the press going from side to side, right? Once she can adjust it like that with that pitch, she should be fine. If she cannot get that pitch completely fixed and she has to like use like a paint stick or something like that to go in and kind of level the job, then she'll have to do that. She may have to do that every time. She may find that she has, out of 6 heads, I got 4 heads that I can go. What I would tell you is go from side to side. So let's say, let me write this down real quick, y'all, because so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. Okay. So that means that, let's say for example, if head 1 lays flat, head 4 is normally going to lay flat. The pitch on head 1 and head 4 should be the same. The pitch on head 2 and head 5 should be the same. The pitch on 3 and 6 should be the same. So the first thing I would do is, if you don't have numbers, right, then I would go in and I would level my, I would go in and I would put numbers on each one of my heads, from head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean 6, right? You got 6. So I would do that. And then after I did that, on my plates, I would take my plates, I would get my measuring tape, and I would measure from the back to the front of the plate. I would make sure that all the plates are set in the exact same place, right? And then, so let's start at the bottom. Start at the bottom of the press, right? Before you go to the top, to the arms. Start with the plates. The first thing you do is get a level. Make sure that all the plates, first line them all up where they're supposed to be. Put the level on them. Make sure the plates are all level. Once you know that, because your problem could be that you got one plate going this way, one plate going that way, one plate like that. So you want to make sure that all of the plates are level. If all of the plates are level, then you're good, right, on the plates. Then you go to the heads. Then you start laying down the heads and you number all of the heads, and then start working it from there. Once you do that, you should be pretty much good. Like, I know they say, hey, you shouldn't touch these bolts or this is that, but you can, you should probably be able to get it back. Oh, let's say if it's not 100%, you can get it 80% or 75%. All you have to do is just not do like, so if I was going to do, let's say for example, if somebody contacted me to do like, let's say, how people do like those sports numbers, or let's say if we're writing out the word babe and we got a B and then we got a real tight outline on it, right? then I would always try to print my outline and then print my B on top of it. That way it's my outline is spread versus doing a butt on butt registration. You may not know what all of that means, but you know, that's what Bosscation is for. So there's tons of ways to get around it. It's gonna be fine. Have you guys seen Ruby online lately? No, we haven't. I hope she's okay. Looks like my $19.99 is giving up the ghost. I'm looking at new ones and ouch, the price. Oh, do you want to stay with the automatic heat press? So I'm gonna tell you now. So I love my Geonite, except for the fact that I have to do the swing thing, right? And my mindset now is that if I bought another automatic press, I honestly, and this is gonna sound crazy coming from me, but what's the guy's name that's big in DTF, that brought the DTF printers to Texas? The first one that brought those DTF printers to Texas. I can't think of his name. I'll think of his name. Anyways, I went to his shop and he had these automatic presses. He had an automatic shuttle press. And at the time, he only had 2 of them. And he was like, I bought these presses over in China. And I was like, But David, he owns TL Caps. Not Scott Freshener, not Scott. The guy that owns TL Caps, what is his name? Dang. He's really big in DTF now. He started out doing, he started out screen printing. And then he went from screen printing and bought DTF machines, and then went from DTF machines to buying, he was the first person to bring the large size, the commercial DTF printers into Texas. And what is this man's name? Dang, I can't think of his name. Anyways, I saw him with the shuttle presses, and so I think that I would definitely look into those, into the shuttle presses, because they are affordable, and I know for a fact that they are made in the same place that the Stahls presses are made. And I don't know if I would buy a Stahls Hotronix, right? I know that Stahls has a good name for the Hotronix, but I don't know that they have that longevity, in their presses when it comes to, like commercial presses. I do know that Geonite presses have that when we're talking like not in the crafting industry, we're talking in the in the big for putting in work. I'm pretty sure that Stahls has probably not stuck on the air autos, but want clam, not swing away. Okay, so if you're gonna go with the clamshell, then you definitely want to do the pull-out drawer, because the clamshells, you want to do the automatic pop-up with a pull-out drawer. And the reason you want to do the pull-out drawer is because with the clamshell, you got to have it right there in your face, right? Don't buy that. Don't buy that, right? Because this you cannot adjust the pressure on. Now, I have a love and hate relationship with this little thing. Can only do 15 by 15, first of all. Second thing is I can't adjust the pressure. Third thing is that it's hard to load shirts on. Now, the love part is that I can push a button and it goes. And so, you know, for that, I do like. Cleaning it, it's hard. I'd probably, if I wasn't using it for live, I'd probably go with the, I'd rather have a clamshell over that with a pull-out drawer. And the reason I say the pull-out drawer is because if you're doing a lot of work, right, then you don't want to be, first of all, with the clamshells, you know, you're doing a lot of work. You don't want that heat in your face, so you want to be able to stand back a little bit, pull it out. Heat Press Nation has one that's probably about $800. I'll have to look up. Shoot me an inbox over on Messenger, and I'll send you the name of a couple of them. That'll be good. You would definitely want to have one that's going to has the automatic open, right? Even if it don't have the automatic close, you got to have the automatic open, because you know you don't want to just be overworking yourself. And then the other thing is maybe buy used, buy a name brand off of, I know that right now, Alex, you're not in the US, right? I don't think you're in the US. I can't remember. But if you are in the US, I know that GSG has a big sale going on right now on all of their equipment. The other thing is, if you can buy used and you can buy a good quality used press that's used with a little, you know, because a lot of times, especially if you buy it from a screen printer, they're not really using it much anyway. So a lot of times we just buy presses. Like my press has probably been used maybe 20 times. We buy presses and they're just sitting there. So maybe you could get a good used one that's really good. Oh, Merlin, I'm sorry to hear that. My press, so I'm going to tell you a couple things. And I don't think it's going to help. But I know that the HTV Runt, if it's not level, if that press is not level, it will do crazy stuff. Like mine will give an error month, right? And try, yeah, you in the US? Okay. Have you tried Digismith? Go try Digismith. Try use screen printing. Try Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, places like that. Post in the groups, hey, anybody got, you know, a screen printing press, da, da, da. I see them all the time here in Texas. But yeah, so back to her, to Merlin. I know you are. I have two of these now, and if they're not level, they will give an error message and not go down. Like you push the button, it won't go down or move. And then, but I don't think that's the problem. I just think that it's, you know, it's not a press that, it's a press that just looks good, right? It's a different looking press, so we all like, oh, it's a different looking press. Me, I was looking for something lightweight to take to events, and so that's how I ended up getting this press. And the whole time I always told everybody is, hey, you know, I don't think that they're the best presses. Luckily, I haven't had mine go out, you know. Ivan, I used the double matte, and the problem that I had is, so when I put, not that matte, I'm gonna show, maybe you're using like two of the mattes that came with it. I'll show you the matte that I used and what did not work for me. So I bought this mat, right? And I put these mats on there. And the problem with this mat is that when you put it on top, let's say, you know, you take that piece off. When you put this mat on top right here, y'all can't see but I'm going to turn this down for those who we just kind of chit-chatting and talking right now, because this might just help somebody. Let's see, did you go down? Yeah, you did go down some. Okay, so let's see if you'll go down just a little bit more. Okay, so I purchased this one, and the problem is that it's a little bit too big, so I had to cut around it. The problem that I have is that you see how this ring goes around here, guys? The top of this goes down into it and it locks. So like when you press this button, it goes down. The HTV run, it'll go down with the first pressure. It'll go like and then you'll hear it for a second and it go So when I put this on here, it only goes down at one time, like and so it doesn't give me that second push of pressure, and it just did not work for me. And what I did was, not on this one, but because see that one, you can't get it won't let the sides go down because it's not, you know, it's longer. So maybe, and I did try to cut it, but it just didn't work for me. Maybe if I was to take two of these, then maybe it would give, you know, you got two of them, and then maybe it feels a little bit tighter. But for me, it just never has worked. I have done like DTF prints on it. I have done screen printing prints on it, but it's nothing like when I press it here and I press one on the professional press. It's like a night and day difference. It really is. And as I have gotten used to pressing and looking back over the years, right, and people tell me about the problems that they have with their printers. So as the years have passed by, and I look and I think about like all the problems that people tell me like they have had with heat presses. Because I used to say, well, if you spend $200 on a heat press and, you know, you have it for a year, then you did good, because, you know, I paid $2,800 or so for $3,000, somewhere around there, for a commercial press, right? You would say, oh, well, you did good. But then when I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, I bought the Geonite, and my first Geonite stayed in operation 18 years, right? So then I think about it, and then I think about the quality, and I never really had anybody come back with the presses. And then I look at some of the work that I put on this one. With sublimation, it's fine. With most HTVs, it's fine. But with my DTF prints, I have to do a double press. So I'll press it, I'll take it off, and then I'll press it, and then I'll raise it up, and then I'll press it again, and then I'll peel it. And I don't think I do a third press after it's off. And then normally that works for me. But for the most part, and I can't do, so I can tell you this, I can print some screen printing transfers I do great with also. So the ones from Howard's, they press beautifully. I can do a screen print transfers from Howard's and peel it off with no problem. If I use the screen print transfers from Stahl's on this, is no go. I print my own screen print transfers it's no go. I have to do a cold peel on those too. So even the ones that I print myself, but yeah, I still haven't. You see, okay, that might work. So what I'll do is I'll go. So what Ivan is saying, y'all, is that you bought another one of these, right? And so that's what you use. You see mine's all messed up. And then I got these lines all up in it and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know whether I could put this in the washer or not. So I haven't like ran this through the laundry because who knows what'll happen if I do that. I hear all kind of stuff cracking and stuff up in there. So maybe I'll just buy another one, because what he's saying is he bought just 2 of these and put it on top, and then that would still I could see that, then that should still let that go down. And maybe that's what people are doing to get the pressure. But I'll definitely try it. What type of prints have you printed with it? So I still have a sublimation machine. Although I don't really use the sublimation in the business anymore. And I don't know why, like people just are not really calling for sublimation. Maybe it's that I'm not pushing it. Since I've got the rooms back set up, or setting it up, it's not set up right now, but it's in the process of being set up. Maybe, and people will start seeing the tumblers, and I'll start seeing things, and maybe I'll get back into doing sublimation. But for me, I only use sublimation mainly with dry fit stuff, like if I'm doing like sports teams and stuff like that, fishing tournaments, bowling tournaments, things like that. That's what I was pushing it for. I still have a sublimation printer over here, which is not a sublimation printer. It is the 7720 is the one that I have now. And I actually need to replace not the head, but the ink cartridge, what I want to call it, electrical board. I need to replace that. And I actually found a lady who has she has a 7610, and so I'm going to take that piece off the 7610 and probably put it on that, because she has a print head error on the one that she has. She has a 0031, which is a print head error, and normally that print head error comes either when the print head is bad or the print head is crooked off in there. So it could be that she has a good print head, but I'm going to get it for like 60 bucks. And so, no, I told her I'd give her 40 for it. So I'm going to get it for 40 bucks, and then I'm going to fix that. I don't have a DTF printer anymore. I just couldn't keep them from getting clogged. And I did not want to buy another DTF printer. I was actually in the process of buying a DTG printer, and then I started outsourcing DTF prints. And once I found a local person to outsource it to, it was just a no-brainer for me to just keep outsourcing, because what happened is, if you see me like at shows speaking, I'm probably like the only person there that's like, I don't like transfers. I don't like transfers, right? And so I finally got to the point to where now I can say it's okay to outsource transfers. And the reason that I felt like that is because I'm buying transfers from big companies, right? Big reputable companies, but having problems with either the quality of the transfer, mostly the quality. Never had a problems with the Stahls transfers. Never had a problems with the Howard's transfers. My problem in the business came with the amount of time, with the turnaround time that it takes for me to get the transfers. So I love to do everything in-house. And so when you are used to printing everything in-house, it's like your customer needs it, you can print it because you got the machine and you can get it done. but I made a conscious decision and purposefully to set out to find local business partners. 2024 is the year of me just being like shopping small, dealing local. You don't hear me talk about like big companies and recommend, you know, these big companies anymore. It's like, okay, find a print partner, somebody that's in your town. They have the machine. They have a DTF business. You have a screen printing business. And you can, if like the people who I deal with, I've got 2 companies here that I deal with, and both of them offer same day turn times. I don't ever, well, one time I got it same day, and then the other times I've gotten it like next day. So that in itself is good to me, especially if the quality is good. And both of these places, I haven't had any customers come back. It's easy to order. They don't answer the phones though. That's the problem. But they do answer emails, and y'all know I'm an email girl, so it doesn't bother me at all. But you know, once I did it like a couple of times, then and saw that, okay, I don't have to wait on the mailman. I don't have to worry about the package going to the neighbor's house down the street, and I got to run and try to figure out where it is, because I've got a whole thing of a whole box of like 200 hookah transfers up there where we did Foot Locker, and I'm just stuck with those. I'm just stuck with them, right? I'm just stuck with them. Because they didn't arrive on time. They went to the wrong house, and I paid for them, right? And so after that, I said, I'm only shopping local, because find somebody that I don't have to wait on shipping. If it doesn't make it, I don't want to have to pay for it. And so, you know, sometimes you can, and then also with artwork, like that was the other thing, is constantly trying to explain artwork to people, how this needs to be. You find somebody local, then you can kind of have a conversation with them, right? So either way, you can either have them send it to the customer, ship it to your customer, or you can get them, they can ship. So what I do is I have my transfer shipped to me, because most of my customers are local. So I have my transfer shipped to me, and then I heat press them. Now myself, I heat press the shirts, and then, you know, deliver the product or have them pick up the product or whatever. Now the company that I deal with now, they not only will sell you the transfers, they'll sell you the t-shirts too. And they'll heat press the t-shirts. I think they charge like, let's say if the shirt is like $3, and then it's another $1 to press. So they'll actually do the full service for you and do the shipping for you. So, you know, it's it just depends on, I guess, like what you want. Me, I do all of my own pressing and all of that stuff. I just like the ease of, it's so easy. It's just so easy to have someone to do it, and then at the price that they're charging, like when y'all know when DTF came out, it was like ridiculously high. And now you can get like a 22 by 60 inch print for, get like a 22 by 60 inch gang sheet for what? 22 by 60 for like 24 bucks. You can get a 22 by 30 for $12.50, for $12.30, right? So it kind of makes you like, and then if you're doing like small stuff like me, especially if you're doing like caps or little bitty prints, like I'm trying to make my prints, if I'm doing a regular full-size print and I know that the sheet is 22 wide, then I'll make sure I'll do like the I'll do like maybe 11 or 10 by 10, two 10 by 10s, and then I still got that 2 inches on the side, and maybe I can put a little pocket logo or something like that. And then if you did, let's say if you did a 10 by 10, you could get 2, that's 4 and 6, so you could probably get about 6, 10, no, you could get 3. So you could get 6 prints on a 22 by 30. You could probably do about 6 full-size prints and then a few little small prints, right, for $12. So before, you used to be like, do maybe 22 by 10 would cost, you know, what were they doing, like a 20 by 20 would cost you maybe like $20, and now they're down to about like $8. So it just makes sense that somebody else does it. I don't have to buy any consumables. I do like that. I love that I don't have to operate the printer. I don't have to buy any consumables. I don't have to do any type of maintenance on the printers or anything like that, and it just works for me. Now I am going to be fixing, and the guy, he should have brought it over today, but I have a Pro Color DTF printer that I'm going to repair for a guy. He needs to replace the ribbon, and hopefully, he told me that the print head is not clogged. However, I know, and he might see this video or not, who knows, but like I said, y'all, I've been there, I've seen it all, and I've done it all. And I know that in order for anyone to take apart a print head, to take apart your printer and take your print head off, there was a clog. So like a lot of times people will bring printers to me and they'll say, oh no, it's not a clog, it's not a clog. It's like, no, it's a clog. So if anything, if it can be fixed, I'm the person that can fix it. So we'll see. I keep saying that I'm not the printer repair person, but this is my husband's uncle, and I told him that I would look at it and fix it. I saw it, he showed me some pictures or something a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at him and I told him, I said I could fix that. And so, you know, he was like, can you fix it? I was like, yeah, I can fix it, but you're gonna pay me. So it'll be something for the channel. I'll fix it, and you know, maybe run a couple of prints on it, make me a little money on it before I give it back. Yeah, Alex, I don't blame you. Like I'm looking, and that's the other thing that I'm looking for. So I am looking for, so the company that I use, they're doing those UV transfers, and so I'm thinking about trying those, the UV transfers on different tumblers and different things like that. So I haven't tried it yet, so I'm gonna probably get some in this week, because I've got an event that I kind of want to use them for. I've got some notebooks I want to put them on, and so I'm gonna try to do that. Stickers I do in-house. So I do my own stickers because I don't sell stickers. I just do sell. What I do with stickers is I use those like when I go to events, and I may have like stickers there just as, you know, like kind of little things that people can grab. So but yeah, 6 companies, that's a lot. That's good. You got a backup for your backup, and that's the one thing that I do like about the DTF, because you have to think about that. Like if you are outsourcing, y'all, you can't outsource to just one company. You got to have a couple of different companies, right? Yeah, that print had about 1,500, yes, or more. How do I avoid heat presses on my cap press? So with that cap press, it has two. You know, it has 2 different heads that come with it. I'm normally use, so one is for like unstructured caps and one is for structured caps. So I use that one for the structured caps, and what I do is I pull back the bill. This part right here, I pull it and I put it on this, and then I take this bottom and I make sure that this is stretched out, and so it should lay flat, completely flat on there, right? If you feel like a bubble or you feel like any space in there, you need to fill that space up. So if you do have some extra space in there, then you could use one of these, right? And you can use this back behind there, kind of like that. So you would just slide this and that would fill up that extra space. So then you wouldn't have, even at the, because if you're getting a crease mark, the crease mark is gonna be like right up in here. Right up in here. And it could mean that it could be the cap that you're using, or it could be the head that you're using. Like if you're using the flatter head on the, you have to make sure you use the one that's big and round, the bigger attachment on the structured caps. And the structured cap is normally going to have like, it's going to have like this center line, right? This is a 6 panel. So you know it's 6 panel. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you'll have the 5 panels. The 5 panel won't have this in the middle, but you can have a 5 panel that is structured, and you can have the dad caps. And I just had a dad cap on earlier, and it was a 6 panel, but it wasn't structured. And so normally the unstructured ones, those are the ones that you want to use the other one with so that you can lay it down flat. But you have to make, on the unstructured, you have to pull that thing in the back down so that it pulls the cap. See how it pulls the cap down like that? But if you have that little bubble up in there, you got to put something in there like that. That'll make sure that you don't have that on there. But I got a couple of videos on it there on YouTube. So it takes a little time to get it together. But that one, the one that you have the same one I have. For the stickers, I just use my Epson printer. I use a regular Epson printer with regular Epson inks in it for stickers. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Traditionally, the Epson inks last like literally forever, right? The stickers that I'm using are not going like outside. They're not going like outside on a car or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about having any UV protection or anything like that. I just jump on Amazon, I buy the sticker paper that goes through Aqueous printer, which means like these are like water-based printers, right? The inks, they're not solvent inks, and so you have to make sure that you buy the sticker paper specifically for that. They also have, if you wanted to seal it, they also have a sealant that you could use, kind of like a laminate that you could put on top. I don't even do that because, like I said, my stickers are going on notebooks, they're going to go on just whatever, but they're not really made for outdoors. They're not going to, once the Epson inks dry, they're going to be waterproof, they're going to be smudge proof. You're not going to have that problem with it. And I've used Epson for 25 years. Like, I started out with Epsons. I'm a diehard Epson girl when it comes to stuff like that. Epson, Canons, Kodak printers, even Brother printers, any type of printer that's made for photography, right? The puff material that they use for embroidery to avoid the mark on the hat. That's interesting. How do you, I would like to know how you use that. the puff material that they use for embroidery? Is it a, oh, you mean the foam? Oh, the foam. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about, I'm thinking puff vinyl. Um, I have some of that too, but I just use my Teflon pad because it's a foam pad. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I actually have some, and they also have a which is different. That pad is different from, what do you call it? The y'all know those I can't think of the name of it. You know that material you use, like if you're baking cookies, how they have those sheets. Wonder if I have one. I'll have to find one around here. But they have like it's like a rubber material. It's used for they have like flat baking sheets that are made out of it. Or like sheets that you can cool stuff down with after you've cooked. I can't think of what that rubber is called, but it takes heat because they put them in the oven. And it's kind of like, it's not a silicone pad, but you see people use them. You see the people at stalls, they use it, and it's the same thing. I can't think of the name of it though, but it's the same exact thing, y'all know it is 10:30 at night. Not the parchment. I think it's silicone. Yeah, the silicone baking sheets. Yeah, there's silicone baking sheets. And you can buy those, and they're also good for like laying prints down. Let me see if I can find it on Amazon. Yeah, here they go. Let's see here. They look like this. I don't think that's one. Try to see if I can pull it up. Let me go through my orders. See if it comes up in my orders, y'all. Nope. It would have been a long time ago. This pad right here. So see these sheets right here? You can actually cut these. They are they're not really thick. You can do the whole thing, or you can cut it, but you can put these. You also use, like if you're doing sublimation on stones, on like the stone material, the stone the stones, like for when you're doing like putting the photos on stones, you use that to like cool it down. But those sheets right there, you can use those sheets also. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and order me another one. So I ain't got too much going on. Let's see what I got over here in my cart while I'm on here. And there's some printable paper I'm about to order right there. Got 2 sheets in there. Okay, y'all. But yeah, those work good also. That's a good thing that Ivan said. I'll have to try the puff material, but normally I don't have my pressure, like what I'm doing when I have my pressure set right. You have to figure out like what's that sweet spot on your pressure, but I don't get any press marks on those at all. But that's good to know about the foam, because I'll have to give those a try. Forgot about that. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, and because I want to set up my cards. I really love these. These are going to save me a lot of time. Normally, as I'm working throughout the day, I'm constantly jotting down notes and stuff. And so this is going to really, really help me. It's the little things that I find that help me out the most, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, hit me up. Hit me over there on the messenger. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. It's getting late, and I'm gonna run a couple of screens. I need to do 4 screens, so I'm gonna go ahead and print out the films for those. And it was good talking to y'all. And y'all just remember, hey, we all on different journeys, right? We are all on different journeys, and even though we're all on the same journey to financial freedom, it's a lot of roads for us to get there. And it's a lot of help out here, and you just have to reach out for help when you need help. Like me, if it's anything that I can do, I try to always do my part for the industry to say, hey, I got you, I got your back. But of course, you have to reach out. So I'll talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good night. Bye bye.